Warriors fans, show your love by subscribing to the channel because one sub equals a Warriors dub. We are so close to the start of the 2023 NBA season, so go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I am your host today. I am Allie Barefoot. My producer Tex is right here to my left, and you guys have been asking some burning questions ahead of the regular season and even the preseason. The Warriors do play the Lakers in 2 days on October 7th, so the season is that close. We want to make sure you guys have your questions answered. So we're going to jump right in to the first question, starting off a starting five. Why not? Curry, Klay, Looney, Wiggins, Kuminga. This is Gokas's starting five. This is what he would do. I don't mind it. I truly do not mind this. I think you have a lot of flexibility in the sense of whether or not you want to start Chris Paul at the point guard and move Curry down to the shooting guard. You can also change it around with Wiggins and Kuminga. I think you have a lot of flexibility with a roster this year, and Steve Kerr knows what he is doing when he's putting those players out on the floor. So I just say you feel it out based on your opponent, based on if you need more guards on the floor or if you need some more size based on who you're playing that day. But overall, not a bad starting five. We'll see. Preseason game is in 2 days. Regular season is this month, so we shall see who Steve Kerr decides, because ultimately, that's the reason why he makes the big bucks, right? That's why you and I aren't over here making the starting five. He knows more than we do, but honestly, in my opinion, Kuminga needs to play more time this season. He averaged 16 minutes per game in his first year, averaged about 20 minutes per game last season, and he almost put up 10 points per game in both of those years. So in my opinion, you double his playing time, you're probably going to double his points. So I would like to see Kuminga have a more productive season on the court this year. But Golden State Giants says, what a storyline it would be if CP3 wins a title with his biggest rivals from the past decade. You read my mind, Golden State Giants. I have loved this storyline since he joined the team. Of course, there was the Draymond issue that we had to get over the hump. But when you look at Chris Paul, strictly as a player, you're looking at 13 points, 14, 16, 17. He's recently played with people like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. He's been on championship caliber teams. He knows what he's doing on the court. His court vision, his basketball IQ is among the highest in the NBA. So I think, yes, he could definitely help the Warriors get over that hump. I think he is a fantastic piece added, even if it is just for a year or two due to Chris Paul's age. But overall, I think Chris Paul would be a great addition because he's been the Rookie of the Year. A long time ago, he was the Rookie of the Year. But he has been a 12-time NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA All-First Team, 75th Anniversary Team, future NBA Hall of Famer. But, you know, Tex, I'm noticing there's just one thing missing here, and that he doesn't have a ring yet. Could this be the year? I think it could be, because the beef is over. Draymond Green addressed the beef. Of course, everybody was like, oh my God, Draymond and Chris Paul don't like each other. They're men. They got over it. Draymond did address this, and he said, look, I'm a competitor. Chris Paul is a competitor. It was never actually personal. It was more of just like, I don't like you on the court. Because they get in each other's face. They're playing ball, what they're supposed to do. Draymond Green said he is one of the smartest players he has ever played with. So now that that's squashed, go win a championship then. Do you guys think, with Chris Paul added to this roster, that they could actually win a championship? I think they definitely could. The Western Conference is tough, and the Denver Nuggets are still a very capable team of doing a repeat year, but I think the Warriors are a contender for sure in the Western Conference. I'm going to go Y for yes. Type it in the comments, Y for yes, N for no. And our next question is from Jason. Man, the season before last, when they won that championship, I really needed that. I was going through the greatest strategy in my life that year and hope CP3 is a good fit. The other teams have really loaded up. The NBA seems to be stacked more than ever these days. I agree with that. It used to just be one or two teams that were good at the top. Man, Jason, I hope 2023 is treating you a lot better than 2021 is, truly. And I do completely agree with you. I think CP3 is a good fit for this team. But like you said, a lot of teams are stacked, including in the Western Conference, because when you look at the Western Conference odds to win it all, the Golden State Warriors are not top two in this list. Denver Nuggets, of course, because they just recently won. Phoenix Suns, probably because they just received KD last season. And then the Golden State Warriors are right there. They're still contenders. Don't take the odds to knock them out. The Golden State Warriors have won recently. They know how to do it again. But there is no lie that the conference is absolutely stacked. And to be honest, the East is also stacked as well. Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks now that they got Dame. So I just think overall it's going to be a hard year. And if you ask any players on the Warriors team, they're going to say it's going to be a competitive year. That's what they want. The Warriors are competitors. So I think that despite the odds, they can definitely come out on top of the Western Conference. But you want to know who else can come out on top? You can. If you use Prize Picks, that is the sponsor of today's show. It's so easy to use, guys. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, projected stats, and just pick more or less, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. These are my picks right here. It goes straight into the regular season of the NBA, even though they aren't even playing yet. You can also do MLB and NFL, but of course I went on ahead and picked some Warriors to see what they could do in this season, and I have Steph Curry shooting over 28 points this season. I have Klay Thompson shooting just a little bit less than 4 threes a game, and of course Kevon Looney. I did pick him to have a little bit less than 9 rebounds just because I want him to kind of have a chip on his shoulder, see if he can beat that. But if you guys want to make your own picks, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS, and you can get a first-time deposit match up to $100. Watch yourself win some money in some real time. Now, our next question here is from Hiron123. Sign DeMarcus Cousins before free agent deadline. We need more help at the center position. I agree. You do need more help at the center position. I don't know if I agree if Boogie is the person to add. When you look at his stats, he is currently playing in Puerto Rico, but in 2021, he was with the Denver Nuggets. He averaged 9 points there. 2020, he was with the Bucks. 2019, he didn't play. And 2018, that was with his Warriors stint. And he did phenomenal with his stint with the Warriors. But my opinion, I think that was the last year he was considerably relevant in the NBA. And that's no slight to DeMarcus Cousins and what he has done in his NBA career, but I just think he's a little bit washed. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. He literally called the old GM, Bob Myers, and asked him, why am I not in the NBA? Bob Myers told him straight up, they're worried about you and your attitude and what you bring in the locker room. You've already signed Rodney Magruder, who has a little bit of beef with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green because of their comments a while ago. Don't bring any more drama into the locker room, and I associate Boogie Cousins with drama. That's just me. Do you guys think the Warriors should sign DeMarcus Cousins? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I'm going with pass. I don't think Boogie is the guy for the Warriors. I do agree you do need a big, but maybe not Cousins, who's not even playing in the NBA right now. Now, CJ did type, I don't understand what Golden State's doing. Most of the teams are getting bigger. I think Golden State believes they can still win with this small, old team. They can win in the regular season, but not during the playoffs because the game slows down. This team has nobody to post up game, and we don't get anybody in foul trouble. What are we doing? You have fair concerns. I also had some of these concerns because when you look at our bigs on the roster, it looks like we have great bigs, but I understand foul trouble and injuries. You don't want to get that far into the depth chart because Jonathan Kuminga, Wiggins, Looney, these are kind of your top 3 guys. When you kind of start seeing Dario and Trayce, it gets a little bit steep on that depth chart, so I understand. You want more bigs. Everybody does. It's a very, very big conference, so overall, you just need size. That's it. The Warriors were potentially going to sign Dwight Howard a little bit ago, but they ended up waiving that. And so now they're really not looking at anybody, or at least that's what the rumors say. So maybe trade deadline. Maybe that could be when the Warriors get some size. But another question did also comment on this. Trayce and Kuminga got to show up. Also Garuba. I have high expectations for Garuba, only needing to play defense and move the ball. I don't blame you. I definitely think that Garuba has a lot of growing to do, and he could definitely be an asset on defense. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get because of the two-way contract, and also just because he's very young on this roster. But when you look at his stats, you know, he's got about 2 points a game. Once again, you're not looking for a shooter. The question was more on the lines of defense. But his field goal percentage isn't bad. Three-point percentage got better. It definitely got better, as we can see. But, you know, boards per game, half a board per game, that kind of blocks, rebounds per game is pretty nice at 4 and 3. I'll take that. So I do think Garuba is a little bit of a wild card just because he's 21 years old. He's on a two-way contract. You just got to let him grow up a little bit. I think playing with somebody as a mentorship like Kuminga and Wiggins can definitely help, but I think Garuba may need a little bit more time. Now, Laura did say the Warriors are acting soft with all of these point guards. I don't like it. I wouldn't say they're acting soft. That's not the word I would use there, Laura. I mean, you've got the best guards, my opinion, in the Western Conference. Look at this. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Chris Paul, those three right there are future Hall of Famers, in my opinion. Gary Payton, a fan favorite, love GP2. Moses Moody, you got Brandon as well, and it just kind of keeps going. Corey Joseph, Kendrick Davis, Rodney Magruder, Donovan Williams, Lester Jerome. I'm not calling this a soft roster spot at all. I do think the Warriors tend to lean a little bit smaller, absolutely. But when you're talking soft, no, probably not, Laura. Now, the real concern actually is with the size. I see where you're coming from. In the West, you got some big guys like Jokic. You've got Kevin Durant. You need a little bit more, especially on the wing depth, but the point guards, yes, they do tend to lean a little bit small because, like we said, we're also taking a look at what we actually do have in terms of the bigs, and it's just not there. Yes, I see what you mean, but when you're talking about Jokic and talking about Kevin Durant, the tallest guy you've got on here is 6'10", and Dario, like I said, you're not even really going to see him until the depth chart gets to that point. So I do understand your concerns here, Laura, and I agree with you. The Warriors need a big. Who do you guys think the Warriors should sign? Type it in the comments. Who do you guys want to see? We've thrown out DeMarcus Cousins. I said I wasn't a big fan of that, so let me know down in the comments. Drop a name, potentially a free agent, somebody we could actually get. Now, another question here is all these bozos in these comments are going to eat their words this year. This is a loaded roster with a lot of young talent and players in their prime. Pop off. Yes, Niner Empire, sorry. Sometimes it takes a little while to read these names. Niner Empire said, eat these words, bozos, when they win a championship. Well, let's take a look at the training camp roster. This is what they've been working with so far. Steph, Klay, Chris, Gary, Andrew, Draymond, all the former names that the Warriors have seen in the previous years. They did add a few more players to the training camp roster just to shake it up and have somebody like Donovan Williams, Rudy Gay. They did recently sign Rudy and Rodney Magruder to this team. And, of course, Trayce and Dario are supposed to be pretty good additions, kind of the 14th, 15th roster spots there. And they also do have some two-way contracts on there. They got Lester Jerome and Usman Garuba. So, yes, there are some players to work with here 100%. Once again, I do think the Warriors can definitely be contenders in a very, very tough Western Conference. And if they do end up winning a championship, then Niner Empire called it first, guys. He called you all bozos. His words, not mine. Never count out the Dubs. The Dubs, even if they start to lack a little bit with injuries in the regular season, they kind of look like not the Warriors everybody's used to be seeing. They know how to play in the playoffs. I can't remember last time I watched a playoff game and I didn't see Steph Curry at least produce something. They just went up against a phenomenal Sacramento Kings. Unfortunately, did lose to the Lakers in the second round, but the Dubs know how to compete. Because like I said, one sub equals one win this season. Subs for Warriors, Dubs. The Warriors, we will keep you updated as much as possible with any information you need to know about Golden State and the Bay Area team. So go on ahead and hit that sub button for me.